Yeah.
Live. Here we go.
What's going
Another
on?
week in the books, Hoss.
Yep. It's been a interesting day to say the least.
Yep. Everybody on Cover 4 panel has won this week. Bama won. Georgia won. Tennessee escapes the bye week. It's been great.
Yep. Definitely.
What game you want to get into first, man? Because there was a lot of craziness going on tonight.
I mean, I guess the Red River rivalry was one that I know a lot of people were looking forward to. So.
Yeah, I got that pick wrong. I rode with Texas thinking that Quinn Ewers had too many weapons for them to deal with. Quinn Ewers got sacked so much. That O-line just got exposed, and I think Oklahoma's for real. They are a playoff contending team.
Yeah.
They play great on both sides of the ball.
Yeah. It definitely made a believer out of me today. I also thought Texas was gonna, win like easily, and it just didn't turn out that way.
No, and it's interesting because going into next season with them joining the SEC, we thought Texas is going to be somebody to worry about. Oklahoma should be like a Missouri type team. We might be completely wrong at this point when it comes to those two.
Yeah, they're definitely. It seems like they've been building their rosters to maybe step in and give a little bit better of a shot against, this conference than we thought they might. So I don't know if there'll be anybody steamrolling them, as if they were a Vandy or something.
Did you watch the touchdown at the end of the game?
I was not able to watch at that time, no.
So the quarterback for Oklahoma, it was a minute left or maybe 50 seconds, somewhere around there. He's literally pressured in the face and dumps it to the guy wide open in the corner. And I'm like, dude, I get it. You're trying to get the pressure on the guy, at least get him back to where it's a harder field goal. But whoever blew that coverage, God, that's got to suck. Because, I mean, that guy was wide open.
Yeah. Yeah, you would think at that stage of the game they would have everybody ready and eyes on their guy that they're supposed to have. So
yeah. Did you happen to watch the LSU Missouri game?
I did catch a little bit of that, yes.
Missouri still, even though they lost, they look a hell of a lot better than usual. Like they look like a second or even contending for first in the East.
Yeah, it seems like they just weren't able to keep the intensity up. They weren't able to. They weren't able to come in late in the game. When it really mattered.
Yeah, but Brady Cook was on target when he needed to be.
Yeah,
it just seems like LSU just has too much roster for them to deal with.
Yeah, they've got a lot of weapons on offense.
And then moving on to 3:30, we had Alabama and A&M.
Yeah.
In Kyle Field.
Yeah, it was a tough game, and we sure weren't doing ourselves any favors. I think I talked a little with you about this before we went live, but I mean, 14 penalties in this game, 99 yards. We had a great play when we blocked their kick, and should have been a scoop and score because of blocking the back on one of our return guys, or once we got the ball, ends up negating that. Of course, just all the false starts, man. It's just really hard to watch.
Yeah, but one thing that really stood out to me was, Georgia and Bama, they're kind of playing the same kind of football, right? Like we're still finding out who these two teams are. And this was the first week we got to see Jalen go deep multiple times. And he was on target the majority of those times. And that's something I didn't know that I thought at this point in his stage, if you could stop him from running, you got a chance to beat him. Well, now he's getting to where he's dual dimensional. It's getting kind of tough.
Well, I mean, he their defense, I got to give credit to them. I mean, because they were they were sacking him numerous times today, and he took some pretty hard shots in this game, and he really, because of them, our lack of run game, because we only had 23, I think by the time everything was said and done, 23 rushing yards that we got credit for because of all the negative yardage plays. It was leaning on his arm, 321 yards passing. So
Right.
then those deep shots that he got, that was key really in us getting the lead that we needed.
So besides, like, I guess LSU might be the next tough game y'all have. Like, who's left? Because it looks like the West is kind of falling to where it's kind of not. I'm not saying it's falling in your lap because you're winning the games you need to win to get there, but everybody else seems to be kind of sliding down. So who's left as far as competition? You just took out the only other people who was there.
Yeah, well, we got Arkansas next, and then of course Tennessee. Hopefully we're going to be able to get that revenge from last year.
Yeah.
And then LSU. Yeah, I was thinking we might have something to worry about with Kentucky, but I think today we kind of saw that maybe that even though they were undefeated going into today's game, it's obvious that the real team that's still undefeated is deserving more than Kentucky was. So really the LSU game, it does concern me always. And then
can I throw out a curveball for you?
Yeah.
I think y'all's hardest game left is the Iron Bowl.
Okay.
Not saying y'all are going to lose that. Y'all definitely shouldn't. Y'all are built to beat that team, no problem. But we've seen what Auburn is when they come to play.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Jalen's going to have any issue eating LSU secondary alive. Definitely not with Kentucky. Tennessee's just in a down year. I think Auburn might be the toughest competition for you. I still think you run that. But I think that might be something to look at. I don't know, man. It seems like y'all ran through the early ends of y'all stages, which is the hardest part of y'all schedule.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I don't think I think any Bama fan that says they go into the Iron Bowl thinking it's automatic win, I think they'd be lying to you. So.
Yeah, that's how I feel about the cocktail.
Yeah. So.
All right. Georgia handles business against Kentucky 51-13. Carson Beck finally shows that we do have a passing offense. Goes for 389 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. It's the best performance from a starting quarterback at Georgia since Aaron Murray, which, we just had Stetson saying something. And right. Brock gets another touchdown, another 100-yard game. The only concern I had was there was a couple drives where the defense just looked like if Leary had an arm, he had receivers open. And that's still where I'm like I really don't worry about our offense at all. I haven't worried about them since people were bitching about it week 2 and Carson and Bobo. That never concerned me. What's concerned me is this defense.
Yeah. Well, I got to say, thanks to Georgia, we had one of y'all's former players do really good for us today. I didn't mention him, but 197 yards, 2 touchdowns. Burton showed out. So
he did. Congrats on getting him, I guess. I don't know what you want to say off of that.
No, I got you.
I wasn't the biggest Burton guy because he was only year 2 when he left us. Now, there is a Georgia fan that we know that was, Burton's my favorite player. And, of course, he leaves. But, I mean, I didn't have anything against Burton. He was just young. You know what I mean? He didn't really get utilized a lot, especially with Stetson, because Stetson never went deep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this has really been probably his best game since he's been at Bama.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the stats he's put up today, it's like normally what he puts up for, seasons, throughout the season, so.
All right, let me ask you this, Haas. Brock is going every game at least 1 touchdown, over 130 yards a game. We know a tight end cannot win the Heisman. If he continues this trend, though, can the kid at least sit at New York at the end of the year?
I think he should at least get to go there. Yeah,
Invite.
I think he's more than proven himself.
Yeah. Speaking of Heisman's, my guy is now out of it. There's no way Quinn Ewers is winning when you lose to Oklahoma. Drake May looked fucking phenomenal, though. I don't know if you've seen the highlights of what he did.
I did not, but
he went off the charts as well. There was one pass that really impressed me. He was on like the 2-yard line. He goes to run and just goes, nah, and just dumps it to the guy. It was gorgeous. That being said, he's still in it. I think Caleb Williams still has a shot. Jordan Travis, maybe. I think you right now might be in the lead as far as pickups.
Be better than my games that I picked this week.
Oh my God, I did awful. Because all right, so let me break down the games I already got wrong. I know for sure. The Friday game I got wrong. God, what was the other ones? I picked Missouri wrong. I think I picked A&M because it was at Kyle Field wrong. There was another one I knew I got wrong. I'm really just hoping that the Iowa State beats TCU, which I haven't checked that score because me and Megan picked those. And if we get those, it's an extra 3 points. So that's really what I got to bank on. It was rough. Oh, I know what the other one I picked that was wrong. I hedged my bet to pick Kentucky this week because I thought that was our hardest game of the season.
I unfortunately picked Vandy, and that was definitely the bonehead move of the week for me. So,
yeah, it happens. Iowa State, Megan, we are getting 3 points, 27-14.
No
left. Yes, sir.
That's another one that I messed up on because I picked TCU to win.
Love it. That's gonna save me because I needed that one, and you know Megan gets like 90% of them right, so I don't know if she even needed it, but God, I did. So let's talk about a couple things going on right now.
Okay.
Notre Dame is getting it pushed in sideways by Louisville. I don't know if it's because it's back-to-back road games against the top 25 team or what's going on, but it's not looking pretty for them. And then you got this. Georgia's little sister is hanging in there with Miami.
That's really looking bad for Miami.
Now, do you think they're paying for their sins, Oz?
One might say that, and that is definitely correct in this situation. Yep.
I think we know a guy who's going to be talking about basketball season pretty soon.
I would think so because I mean, they should have just come into this game and blown them out. That's what I would have thought. So.
Yeah, I didn't. I think they were 16-point favorite too. Like I didn't think this game was going to be close at all. But what's sad is like usually when like back in the day when Georgia Tech gave you a close game, it's because all right, well they run the triple option. It's hard to stop the triple. That's gone. So what the hell is your? There's no excuse for this.
No, there really isn't.
Look at that! Oh my God, he dropped it. Granger says Miami's definitely a pretender. You might be right. By the way, Auburn looked amazing this week. The best I've seen them. I'm fixing to start laying money on Megan's picks for real. Hey, man, I picked them too.
Yeah, Megan's good. She's good.
Mm-hmm.
Got to give credit where it's due.
Yeah. I still think this game's over. Georgia Tech can't get any offense. They hung in long enough. But it's still not a good win. That being said, the way that this week worked out, so you had 3 teams, actually 4 teams that looked pretty impressive. You had Oklahoma look good, Michigan looked good, Georgia looked good, and Bama looked good. I'm wondering – I'm pretty sure Georgia holds on to the number 1 spot with the performance they had tonight. But if they don't, I could see a team like Oklahoma or Michigan hopping because they definitely handled what they needed to handle.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I just I hope we can get back a little bit higher up into the rankings.
Well, how crazy is this? Like, I hate the fact that we're moving to 12-team playoffs. But if any year ever needed it, it's this year. Because, I mean, it is wide open from I'd say the first three kind of groups together. But from 4 to 12, it is anybody's game.
That's true. Yeah.
And it's crazy that the 1 year we actually needed it is the last year we're not going to get it.
I mean, you know, there's still quite a bit of football to be played. I mean, I hate that we're this far along in the season because just I see that end of it approaching. But
yeah,
I'm still hopeful though. I'm not starting to look at the basketball games quite yet. So.
Now, I would say it was hard for me today because I was trying to watch all these games and checking the Braves score because it's officially playoffs for the MLB.
Oh, okay.
And Braves lost their first one. They're 0-1 to Philly. UGA is not losing number one. If Oklahoma crushed Texas by 30, I could see it, but they're safe. It's not Oklahoma I'm even worried about. It might be Michigan. But then again, I mean, it was Minnesota. It wasn't like they beat a ranked team, but they did look really good doing it. This was the first week where I could literally, by watching Georgia, I'm like, okay, we can get back to the playoffs. Like that was my first time I've seen them as a playoff contending team. Not saying they're going to, but if they play like that every week, they will. But that's a lot to ask.
I know it's early on, but USC is currently down 10-0 to Arizona. So
yeah,
that might be one to watch.
How about the fact that the Colorado Buffaloes had to come back with a last-minute field goal against Arizona State, who's got one win on the season?
Well, I mean, I think we've kind of figured out by now that
yeah, but all right, so here's the difference.
This team of destiny that Deion kept telling everybody he had is maybe not quite as good as.
Yeah, but you can understand Oregon and USC and go, okay, they should be able to beat everybody else on their schedule, but you're barely beating Arizona State. Now you really got problems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I hope you guys cover basketball this year. I probably won't. But Hoss and
I mean, you know, you get bored enough, you want to just.
Oh no! It's not the boredom. It's the fact that I know my team is the Vanderbilt of basketball.
Y'all get a good win every now and then.
Every now and then you get at least one. So setting up for next week,
all right.
We got the game of the week, Washington and Oregon. What's your thoughts on that one?
I'm leaning towards the Ducks, but
same. Now it's at Washington though.
Yeah.
It's in Seattle. College game day will be there. Top 10 matchup.
Oh, most definitely.
I think Oregon's the better team. I think Penix is the better quarterback.
Yeah. You think this might be his chance to solidify as far as Heisman potential?
I think whoever wins it, it's going to be in New York. Not winning it, but being there.
Yeah.
Big Ball Daddy says 10 versus 10 U is game of the week in the SEC anyway. I don't know, man. Watch out for Georgia Vandy.
Yeah.
Y'all got Arkansas.
I definitely won't pick Vandy again. I can tell you that.
Who does
I was really only just holding true to what I said because I had said in a previous week I'm not picking Florida again. And
yeah.
You know, I guess I just picked the wrong week to say that. So.
I got a fun game for you next week.
Okay.
How about Florida versus South Carolina? Because those two are literally neck and neck for the same type of team.
Yes. I don't know. I'd probably give the edge to South Carolina.
Well, it is in South Carolina, so Florida cannot travel for shit. But if the Florida team that showed up against Tennessee shows up, who knows?
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm with them. I think Tennessee and TAMU might be the best game of the week in the SEC. God, ripped his whole head off. Good Lord. Yeah, I'd say this game's about over. One more first down. There ain't nothing Georgia Tech because they can't move the ball to save their life.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they're holding on those timeouts, but I'm not sure what good it's going to do them at this point.
Maybe Miami will learn their lesson and stop fucking dressing like a fucking tip of a highlighter. Get back to normal might help them out. The Georgia game today didn't surprise me one bit. Kentucky and Zoo are both frauds. I thought Missouri looked kind of good against LSU. Considering that's a huge step up in competition for Missouri.
They kept it close for a while, for sure.
I got Brady Cook in like the top 5 quarterbacks in the SEC right now. I'll be honest with you. I think that's I'm gonna look up Tennessee's schedule. All right, so they got A&M, then Bama, then Kentucky. That Kentucky game I definitely want to see. Connecticut, and then Missouri, then Georgia. God, dog. That is a rough stretch for you guys. A&M, Bama, Kentucky, Connecticut, Missouri, Georgia. God damn. If y'all only lose 2 of those games, you're doing great.
Now, I know we were mentioning Colorado earlier, but they're playing against Stanford this coming week. You think they might be able to win that one?
What's Stanford's record?
Let's see here.
I like Miami's helmet, but not the.
They are 1-4 right now. 1-4. Only win has come against Hawaii. They lost to Sacramento State, so
I think I'm gonna take Colorado. But here's the thing, man. It's like people think that we're just constantly just hating on Colorado. I will give credit where it's due. They had 1 win last year, and there's a very good chance they're gonna be bowl eligible this year. That's impressive as shit.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I hate Colorado is you got all these teams busting their ass, building rosters and doing shit. But yet, anytime you turn on ESPN, it's Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, and Colorado Buffaloes and Dion. Like, what?
Oh, yeah.
That's my only hatred towards it. Is like, give shine to the teams that are actually doing shit. Not even keep Georgia out of it. Why aren't we hearing anything about Washington or Penn State?
That's true.
That kid looks like a bug.
I was trying to see. It's Penn State. Yeah, they're playing UMass this coming week. Of course, I don't know how USC. It depends on how USC finishes tonight, but they'll be playing Notre Dame. So
it's tough. Man, can you believe we're already going to be at week 7?
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's
Jesus,
like
man.
As college football fans, you don't want to see the season come to an end, and you just start counting these weeks. They're going to fly by, man.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I take that back. Tennessee and TAMU is not the SEC game of the week next week. The SEC game of the week, in my eyes, next week is Missouri and Kentucky.
Okay.
Who's going to fight for that second spot?
Well, based off today's play, I would say Missouri's got a pretty good shot.
Me too, but it's at Kentucky.
Yeah, I get it.
LSU Auburn's this week coming up.
Mm-hmm.
You got Miami, North Carolina, which is a ranked versus ranked. Bama, Arkansas. Utah, Cal at Utah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Florida, South Carolina, A&M at Tennessee. USC, Notre Dame, which you already talked on.
Mm-hmm.
NC State versus Oregon State is going to be a hell of a good game. I know NC State ain't ranked, but that's going to be a tough game to watch. Yeah, we already talked about Oregon versus Washington earlier, Candace.
Yeah, we try to be equal over here. We're not just only talking SEC games, but
yeah, I mean, if we had our way, let's be honest.
Oh yeah.
That's all we give a shit about.
Eventually, it's probably going to be like what, 2, maybe 3 super conferences, and that'll be it.
Yep.
That's what they just need to do. Just get it over with.
How does this work next year? Because we're getting rid of the East and West, right?
Right.
So is it just best overall records goes to the SEC championship at the end of the year?
I mean, I would think it. What didn't they say? It was like not a pod, but what did they call it? As far as the way the teams are, there was like a name they gave it, but anyhow.
So, but what I'm saying is like, all right. So let's say Bama goes undefeated next year. Auburn's undefeated. They lose to Bama. Those are the best two records in the SEC next year. They automatically the next week play again.
I guess we'll see. I mean, yeah.
It just seems like a little bit of a holes in the system. Like I want to.
Right. It's going to take a little bit to get everything ironed out, and
I'm just wondering how many teams from the SEC will actually make the 12.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because now with no divisions, you're adding in Texas and Oklahoma. It's good for the SEC, but it kind of fucks them at the same time. Because what happens is we're going to be so beating the shit out of each other, while you're going to have teams like Florida State, Clemson just skating by on nothings. Top 2 teams in the league play in SEC championship. In theory, 2 teams from the same division can play each other. Right, because there's no divisions anymore. Right.
Okay.
I think this will actually put a more of an emphasis on the SEC championship, though. Because, hear me out on this one. Winning the SEC championship is going to be huge now that this super conference, right? Mm-hmm. On top of that, SEC champ with a 12-team playoff doesn't necessarily mean you're making it to the Natty.
Right.
Another SEC champ can still come in and win the Natty, but it's still, you know what I mean? Like, not winning the SEC championship, even now, it sucks. Like, if you win the national championship, great, awesome, but you still want both. I think it's going to put more of an emphasis on who's the greatest team in the greatest division before playoffs. It's going to be like a regular season championship.
I got you.
I still don't know if y'all make it, Cranges. He says, I want to playoff expanded to 32 teams. I don't know. They look good. I mean, shit, they gave Georgia a run for their money.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely gonna make some big improvements there, I think.
Yeah.
Versus some of the previous coaches that Cranges has had to endure.
Like I said before, man, I know I've kind of beat this to a dead whistle. You're going to have a lot of good coaches kind of getting laughed at because it's too many coaches in the SEC. You got Saban, Kirby. You're bringing in Sark, Petrino. You're going to have Hugh Freeze, Hype, like Jimbo. They just, God dang, dude. Arizona wins up on USC. Yeah, we're going to put it on in a minute.
Yeah, that one's definitely surprising me. USC, I don't know.
It's the Lincoln Riley thing, man. They're never going to have a defense. So, all right, sitting right now, Hoss, who's your favorite four for the playoffs going into Week 7?
Well, definitely Georgia. I mean, you have to.
I'm not saying that for you to say.
I'm just saying they're.
What four teams are impressing you the most? Is kind of what I should have said.
Well, I mean, I'll just say this.
I was doing that for what makes.
Do you really feel Georgia's been tested to this point?
No. The only test I'll give them is a comeback at Jordan-Hare. You know as well as I know, it's hard. That's the main thing that I give them a lot of credit for. As far as the true test,
definitely you gotta give Michigan a nod. Ohio State. I mean. But yeah, other than that, I would say, I don't know, Penn State. I know you've mentioned them.
Mm-hmm.
I would say they're probably looking like they could definitely make a run.
Okay.
So as of right now, those would be the ones I go with.
So you had Penn State, Michigan, Georgia, and who else?
Ohio State.
Ohio State. The teams that impressed me the most, it's hard to put Georgia there because it's only been one good week, but they are. I'm going to put Georgia there. Georgia, Michigan, Oregon, maybe Penn State, yeah. Ohio State, man, every week they are struggle city. Like even this week, they had to come back to beat Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I don't know. I think it seems like, anyways, that the playoff committee, as long as you're winning, that's really the most important thing to them.
That's true. I mean, there was 2 weeks there in a row where I'm like, all right, we're dropping out of first.
Yeah, because I think once we go to just their rankings, I think it's going to line up pretty close to the way.
Actually, I'm going to replace my Penn State. I'm going to replace Penn State. So I got Georgia, Michigan, Oregon, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, okay.
Dude, they are playing both sides of the ball sound.
I cringe saying it, cringes, so I'm right there with you.
But let's be honest, Michigan has it's the same thing you say to me all the time about Georgia. They have an easy schedule. It's just Ohio State at the end of the year. And I feel like Michigan can beat Ohio State.
Yeah.
All right. Did this dude fumble this? Because if he didn't fumble, I'm changing this damn channel.
Looks like the ball's out.
Citadel, Clemson, South Florida, UAB. I can see why you said South Florida, and I can see why you said UAB. They both gave great teams a run for their money.
Right there, ball's out before his shoulder went down, wasn't it?
Yeah. Grant just with the update, Arizona's up 17-zip.
Wow.
Which would be fine with me because that means Cranch's Heisman pick also falls down. They're saying his shin hit early.
Oh.
But we'll see. Ruling on the field is a fumble. There's only 26 seconds left. Fumble. All right. It stands. What can they do with 26 seconds?
Not much.
All they need is a field goal, Hoss.
Yeah, but they burned through all their timeouts now, so I mean, they're gonna mess up. I just don't have much faith.
I agree. I've seen them every year since I've been watching college football. I agree completely.
I don't have much faith in them at all.
Here he goes, and
Nothing.
Yeah. That's about how Leary looked today. Leary had people wide open, and he's awful. Like a decent quarterback would at least put, I'd say, 28 on Georgia with the routes they were running. Because there was a couple that he just overthrew.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
Did he get out of bounds?
If
Let's
they
be
say
honest.
his knee, I don't.
This is Georgia Tech.
his
There's
knee-
no way that's field goal range.
Huh. Yeah, that kicker better be warming up.
I doubt it. He's no cock ring.
That's true.
No fucking way. No way.
Wow.
No way.
Oh my gosh.
God. Down goes Miami.
Is there any flags?
No.
No flags. That
Oh
is
my
crazy. I would have never guessed they would do that.
Me neither.
Whoa.
Well, guys, get your basketballs ready.
Might get a little interesting talking to a certain Miami friend of ours.
Now, Cranders, let me show you what you do. Now you start sending the Bible verses. You wait till this point to do it.
That would be the perfect time. Man, I'm really glad we got to witness that here
Me too.
live. That is, man, that's definitely a marquee win for them for the season.
Wow. I know a long-haired Georgia Tech fan is probably losing it right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he believes in them. Yeah. I was gonna say USC if they end up losing to Arizona, that was gonna be the worst, or not the worst, but the biggest upset of the day. But this is pretty big.
Oh, this is huge.
Yeah.
This is a huge upset.
Yeah. I love it.
I love it.
It might fall on deaf ears for at least the moment, but
eventually it will be seen.
Still warranted, I'm sure.
Oh yes.
He's still grinning on the sideline. I don't blame him.
I think that's enough.
And we appreciate Crandus and Megan being here to celebrate that with us.
Oh yeah, we're gonna switch over to the other game in just a minute. I just want to enjoy the last 2 seconds of this.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, this Miami team is shook, man. I mean, the looks on their faces, that's like them finding out that Luke Campbell no longer likes Miami. I mean, that'd be how they'd feel. You know, that's
yeah. I mean, he was wide fucking open too. Like it wasn't even close.
oh yeah.
Damn. Gotta hate it. You know what's crazy? They've showed this stadium like 4 different times at different angles. They're ranked number 17 and still can't fill the stadium.
Yeah, it's
I don't know if it's a South Florida thing, like they just don't give a shit.
yeah. I think we've talked with our Miami friend about this before, and he was just like, yeah, he didn't really have a reason to give us for why that was. It's just is what it is, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Well, 2 seconds left. Let's see what happens. Nobody touch it. Oh, and a flag. How do you false start the kick? Does that put them in field goal range? I'm gonna be so pissed if that puts them in field goal range. Okay, it does not. So it's a Hail Mary situation.
Either that or one of those lateral mania type things. But
I hate those plays.
let's just say the odds of that working out are not too good.
It is Georgia Tech, though, so let's not hold our breath here.
Well, okay.
They are known to do some stupid shit. Yep, we're going with the laterals.
Yep. Oh, it might work.
It might work. This is Georgia Tech. That's what I'm saying.
This is crazy. No.
You've gone way too far back. There's no one behind you now. Okay, now you got somebody behind you. Oh.
It is still going. What are these?
Got the ball.
There we go. There we go.
Whoo.
I was like, is nobody gonna? They were like giving them a lot of room.
Yeah, they were.
I'm really surprised it went on as long as it did.
Wow. And Miami's done. All right, what game were we looking at? The USC game?
Yeah.
Where the hell is it?
ESPN. Just the main channel.
Yeah, I just go to live. It'll pop right up. See, it still shows behind. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Boom. This is another anomaly right here.
Yeah. I mean, of all the teams to have an off night against, this is not the one you would want to do it.
No. Kansas, I completely agree. Yeah, you're done. You're not coming to the playoffs after that loss. Like you could lose to a good team like Bama and Texas, but you lose to Georgia Tech, those kind of situations. There's nothing on your schedule to help you for that.
Mm-mm. It's like Oregon State's up 21-17 on Cal at the half.
That's good.
I think you're going to have to run it.
They got it. Unless they do something crazy like beat Florida State by 40. I think even then, I think it's over because there's so many ranked teams that are going to be undefeated. You're going to have, even if it's not undefeated, you're going to have an SEC champ. Oregon or Washington still might be undefeated. Then you got Penn State or Michigan can still be undefeated. I don't see a spot where they can come back from that. Well, you want to go ahead and end it here, House?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, we've talked pretty much about most everything we had planned to, I think. So,
all right.
Probably check on this game and enjoy the rest of this football Saturday.
Yes, sir. Y'all take it easy.
All right. Peace.